And you're watching Fox 61 News here on the Fox 61 News app, fox61.com, Facebook, and YouTube. Good evening. I'm Carmen Chau. The snow is falling across Connecticut, our first measurable winter storm of 2020. And we want to encourage you to leave comments on this video, and we'll be reading them as we go along. And please send us your snow videos to share61 at fox61.com. But we want to begin tonight with live team coverage of this winter storm. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is tracking the storm for us in the Weather Center. And then we have Rachel Piscitelli, who has a look at the roads. And Fox 61's Brian Didlake is in the storm tracker with the latest on the conditions out there. But first, let's turn now to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank and the Weather Center. Rachel, how's it looking out there?
We're actually dealing with the heaviest right now as we speak. And as we head through the evening tonight, it looks like that snow is going to maintain that intensity with up to 1 inch per hour snowfall rates from now through about 10 p.m. That's when the worst will occur. This is a light, fluffy snow out there for a lot of the state. There is still a chance for a changeover to rain along the shoreline and for southeastern Connecticut. It's going to be close, though. Some along the shoreline may just briefly change over before this all comes to an end. So we're not expecting a whole lot of rain. Most of us just get snow out of this, which is a huge difference from what we've had so many times this season. We've had ice that's mixed in. So this may be the first time this season that some of us have just seen snow. And this storm is going to come to an end between 10 p.m. and about midnight. We're still thinking that a lot of the state ends up getting 3 to 6 inches of snow. And I think 3 or 4 inches is going to be a very popular number statewide. There could be some lower amounts in southeastern Connecticut where that mixing line is going to creep up sooner, anywhere between 1 to 3 inches. The Groton, New London area, Montville, you're kind of close to that as well. And there's a chance for a bit more fluff factor in parts of northwestern Connecticut where there might be a little bit more than 6 inches in some areas. But again, 3, 4, very popular number, and 5 and 6 for some of the areas that get in the heaviest stuff. Right now in Enfield, you're like, it's not even that bad, but you see these dark purple shading areas. This is where the snow is coming down very heavily right now. It's coming down pretty hard from Marlborough down through East Hampton as we continue on our tour down through Branford and Guilford. This is adding up quickly. These are those 1 inch per hour snowfall rates where things are getting covered up really quickly, but it's a 1 inch per hour snowfall rate, but these bands aren't sitting over the same town for an hour. Still, we think that the snow is probably rapidly piling up as that band starts to come through. Tolland and Coventry dealing with some moderate to potentially heavy snow. Same is true here in Watertown and Woodbury. What's really cool is we can kind of tell our radar to highlight where the snow is just coming down the heaviest, and we've told it to show that in that deep purple color. Newtown dealing with some heavy snow. Same is true for Wilton and New Canaan. But let's pivot to the other side of the state. Here in southeastern Connecticut, Montville, Voluntown, it's actually more of a light snow at this point. And you're like, are we going to get some more? Actually, the heaviest snow ends up coming really close to that rain snow line. So right before that changeover, you could actually see some heavy snow even in southeastern Connecticut right before that flip over. And it's light right now up the 395 corridor through Woodstock. Now watch this. See the New York City area, maybe part of the south shore of Long Island. There's that changeover to rain that we're going to be watching. Temperatures are right around the freezing point for the Connecticut shoreline. So we'll have to see if that's able to creep in. It's kind of a race against time because this is the back edge. So the question is, do we get to the back edge first, or do we get to the mixing line first? And that's why I think a lot of the state ends up seeing precipitation shut off before temperatures are warm enough to see that flip over to rain. And another interesting thing is that this storm is taking a really weird track for us up through the Great Lakes. Normally, that's a warm storm track for us, but because it was so cold last night, that's the reason why we just had so much cold air in place that we're not seeing that changeover. Mid-20s right now in Killingly, 19 in Litchfield. I can tell you, I mean, we're going to check on the roads in a little bit, but I can tell you from driving in here that road treatments are not working. When you have temperatures that are as cold as they are today, all of that snow is still just able to stick to the ground. So is it drivable? In my case, it was. I was able to get here a couple hours ago. That being said, you still have to leave yourself some extra time. Temperatures around and even above the freezing point for the Connecticut shoreline. So here's the future temperatures, satellite and radar. 9 p.m., we're still seeing some of those heavier bands of snow. I'd say snow coming down at varying intensities. Here's that rain snow line. We're already starting to see everything begin to shut down. Fairfield County, 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Western Connecticut, you're out of it. A brief flip over to rain, 11:30, midnight, we're done. And the rest of the evening, it might be a little damp. There could be a stray rain or snow shower, but we're not expecting much in the way of additional activity. So things coming to an end, and temperatures will be in the teens to right around 20 degrees. So it's going to be a cold night out there. We're going to talk more about cleanup. We're going to talk more about the consistency of this snow, where we go from here, another check at your radar, and we've got photos, we've got all of your comments. We really appreciate getting all of them, so please keep them coming in, and we'll check back in a couple minutes. But first, let's get a check on the roads with meteorologist Rachel Piscitelli.
All right, thanks, Rach. So I actually was looking at some of your comments already on our Facebook Live. Thanks for joining us. And Elaine had said that she decided to stay in, and it's probably a good idea to do so, even though we are not seeing a lot of volume on the roads. If you take a look at the radar, or the map here, I should say, you can see those darker shades, the yellow and the orange, just indication of having a slower road speed than normal. So that's kind of what we want to, draw your attention to in the Hartford area, extending into Manchester, Glastonbury, as well as Rocky Hill, seeing those slowdowns there. So we did have reports of a crash here on the West Hartford area, right near West Farms Mall. The left lane was blocked right near exit 40 along the 84 eastbound side. I believe that has since cleared, but just keep in mind, a lot of these spinouts can occur when we're seeing just light precipitation out there, just making the road slick. We have the right lane blocked on exit 46 near West Boulevard on 84 eastbound due to an accident. Now, crews were out there earlier, and it does look like that has been cleared, so that's pretty much a good news there. But you can see there that is snow-covered roads, so definitely want to take it slow. I mean, I was talking to one of our floor directors, and he had said that it was, when he was trying to get in, it was about a 30-mile-per-hour slow go on the highway. You're looking outside in the Brantford area, where we do have some roads that are covered in snow, so definitely just want to take it slow as well. And then in New Haven, we're seeing that traffic moving in and out fairly slowly as well. Now, we do have our storm tracker out on the roads in Colchester, so we're going to take a live look outside there. So this is in Colchester. Jose is out there. Thank you. He is taking it slow, and you can just see that those road conditions aren't ideal either for us. So as I mentioned, Rachel's going to be taking you through that hour-by-hour forecast. We'll have a quick look at the radar as well. And for right now, we'll send things back over to Carmen.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And we have a live look at the road conditions out there. Let's head out to Fox 61's Brian Didlake. He joins us live in Bristol from the Storm Tracker. Brian, how are the roads looking?
Carmen, roads have been deteriorating very fast since 3 p.m. when that first snow started falling in this area. We're in Bristol right now. If you look on the roads right now in front of us, you can see that people are just now trying to get those snow plows out so we can get the roads actually drivable in this area. But once we were coming down here on the way just to report on this story today, we did see one car that was flipped over, and it was just a hectic scene trying to see all of those cars go around that one vehicle, but police did show up and was able to assist them at this time. But if you look on the roads right now that we're looking at, you can see that there's not much traction on the roadways, and that's due to all this snow that's still on the ground and still sticking very hard. It's not really letting up at this moment. But we did talk to some people, and they were a bit confused with this snowfall in the first place, because at first they had mentioned that it was, just a week ago we were having, very favorable temperatures at that time, but now they're seeing all this snowfall. They're a bit concerned as far as like getting sick and whatnot. And we spoke to one pizza place that was here that said they're going to take it quite slow when going on the roadways. Take a listen.
Back in the day when I was a kid, they used to be over our heads in our driveway when I was a little kid. Okay. And but nowadays, hit or miss. One winter we get a lot of snow, and then some winters now it's been iffy.
Me, I was out earlier doing deliveries myself, and I was cautious. I wasn't speeding, obviously. When it comes to driving the snow, a lot of people tend to step on the brake pretty quick, pretty fast. So what happens is, they start sliding. I saw a few cars already sliding red light, and they were trying to stop. They flew right through that red light.
Now, we do have some tips from AAA who suggest driving carefully at this time by simply increasing your braking distance when driving on the roads with these conditions. Give yourself some time to brake so you won't slide through that red light, as our previous person mentioned. Now, also make sure you drive in the tire tracks of other vehicles so that you can get the traction from those tires that were already on the roads before you. And make sure you're being careful when changing lanes, because when you change between the area between lanes that have the buildup in it with crunchy ice and or snow, that should be avoided at that time, because if you change lanes and do so gradually, when holding the steering wheel firmly, you're able to go from one lane to the other very fast. But coming back on screen now, you can still see one last look at the roads that we're looking at the moment. And if you look above the storm tracker at this time, you can see behind us people are taking their time to going to and from their destinations at this time. But again, we're going to be live in Bristol throughout the night just to see where we can talk to some people to see how they're going to adjust with this snow coverage. But for now, we're live in Bristol. Brian Didlake, Fox 61 News.
Okay, Brian, some useful information. Stay safe out there. We have some breaking news, a reminder to drive safely if you're out on the roads. Take a look at this video from Norwich. Those slippery road conditions are being blamed for this rollover. We're told this car fell down a 50-foot embankment on Church Street. No word yet, though, on the driver's condition or how many people were in that vehicle. And of course, we'll be sure to keep you updated as more information comes in. And here's just another look at those slippery road conditions out there. This is also Norwich, where you can see a good coating of snow on those main roads as it continues to accumulate, and drivers certainly taking it slow out there. And the Department of Transportation is reminding drivers to stay safe on those roads. Fox 61's Brent Harden joins us with some safe driving tips. Brent.
Winter driving is a tricky and dangerous business. Better roads, better cars, and better tires are important, but they won't take the place of careful driving practices. So to keep your experience with winter driving from becoming a crash course, I've got your back with a few tips from Connecticut's DOT. When you get behind the wheel in wintry weather, give yourself plenty of extra time for getting to your destination. Take the time to clear all windows of snow, ice, or fog before starting out. And when it comes to your lights, even though you can see, drive with low beam headlights in snow, fog, or just winter murk. Keep all lenses free of dirt and slush by wiping them periodically. And when you drive, maintain at least 3 times the normal following distance on snow or ice. Be sure your tires have adequate tread or traction in snow, and to reduce the risk of hydroplaning in rain or puddles on the road. According to the DOT, at 30 degrees, ice is twice as slippery as it is at 0 degrees. It also forms first and lasts longer on bridges and in the shade. If you go into a skid, act quickly by taking your foot off the accelerator. And when you get to your destination after being in a warm vehicle, the soles of your shoes or boots are warm enough to melt snow or ice, creating a film of water between the sole and the snow or ice surface. So be especially cautious for the first 5 minutes after leaving your car. If you have a consumer issue, a scam, or a warning, let us know about it. You can email me at brand@fox61.com. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Brent, thank you. Stores throughout our area are stocking up with the essentials. That includes salt, shovels, and ice scrapers. And Bob Krieger, the owner of Cat's Ace Hardware in Glastonbury, says the mix of snow and rain can make it cleanup difficult, so he shared some advice.
You don't want to put down too much salt, and it looks like we're getting about 2 to 4 inches. So I would recommend getting rid of the snow first, and then you can put down some salt afterwards as a pre-treat, because it's supposed to stay cold, actually. A little warmer right after, but then cold for the next 3 to 4 days. That'll create the ice. That's where your danger is going to be this storm.
And Krieger tells us a lot of his customers are choosing to go ahead and stock up now for the rest of the season. And meanwhile, in Vernon, the DPW tells Fox 61 they're all set to tackle this storm.
Our crews are going to be coming in. All our trucks are already lined up and staged, and they'll be out putting down a product called treated salt, which has magnesium chloride in it.
And several towns and cities have already announced parking bans, including right here in Hartford. Mayor Luke Bronin tweeting a reminder to its residents. The parking ban went into effect at 6 p.m. today and will end at noon on Sunday. So this means street parking will be prohibited. And once you see that blue light flash, it means your car must be moved into a blue light lot that will open at noon tomorrow. And many other towns and cities also have parking bans in effect, some of them being Bristol, Danbury, East Hartford, Meriden, New Britain, Torrington, Wallingford, and West Hartford. And again, these are just some of the towns and cities on that list. We have the full list of parking bans on fox61.com/weather/closings. And you can also visit the Fox 61 News app. And we want to get another check on this winter storm with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank. Rachel.
Thanks, Carmen. Let's take a look at some of those snowfall totals. And this is interactive. This is fun. We're live right now on Facebook, so we're able to actually see you send these in. New Hartford takes the cake. 4 inches of snow. So far, it's western and southwestern Connecticut in general that we've seen some of those higher snowfall totals, about 3 inches in Trumbull. Cromwell coming in with 2 inches of snow, only about an inch in Enfield and about a half an inch in Montville. Montville's right near that area that we have that 1 to 3 inch contour. And Enfield, parts of northern Connecticut right in our valley locations might underperform just because there's really dry air in place, and sometimes that can kind of eat away at some of our snowfall totals. Right now, Barbara saying she has about 2 inches in Newington. Stephen saying he's in Bristol, a few inches, but he'd really like to see a little bit more, about 2 inches in Woodbury, about 2 inches in Barkhamsted from Katie. Doug was the report from Woodbury, and Vinny's writing in saying, none in Barbados. Oh, well, have fun in Barbados. Winter weather advisory posted for the entire state with the exception of a winter storm warning for northern Litchfield County. The reason for the difference is because a winter storm warning is issued when the National Weather Service thinks there could be 6 or more inches of snow. So they had a greater confidence in it happening there. As of this moment, probably not going to see that much more than 6 inches, though. We just got this photo in from Southern New England Weather saying up to 3.25 in Fairfield. We got the classic ruler in the snow picture. We have another one from Raw Nutmeg CT, which happens to be one of our favorite photographers. He sends me the best weather video all the time. Freddie, thank you so much for this. He says 3 inches and steady snow still falling in Washington. And AJ Frazier sending us in this cute photo from Mishka. She just came in from frolicking in the snow for her dinner. So let's talk about some snow notes. Again, this is going to come to an end between 10 p.m. and about midnight. Right now it's light and fluffy, but it will be wetter and kind of heavier in consistency right towards the tail end of this, right before that changeover, especially along the Connecticut shoreline. So that could make those piles a bit more heavy than they have been so far. So far it's been like you could sneeze the snow off your car. And again, there is a chance for a change to rain for maybe the shoreline briefly and southeastern Connecticut, but most of us just see snow. If you do see a changeover later tonight or overnight, it would be just so minor. It really wouldn't impact those piles very much. So in terms of impacts, we're talking about snowy roads. Clearly, you can look outside your window and you're already seeing that. And obviously, we're all doing some snow removal, whether it's shoveling or salting or breaking out the snow plow or snow blower. We're all going to be cleaning up, and tomorrow is a great day to do that before everything freezes, which we're going to talk more about in just a moment. So let's take another look at the radar. Again, we're all getting snow at the moment. That changeover has not occurred. Look at this deep purple here in parts of western Connecticut, Danbury. That's heading towards you in Waterbury. Those are the heavier snowfall rates that we've been telling you about. And again, those are going to continue to move through as we head through the next several hours or so, right before this comes to an end. But it's New Canaan up through Ridgefield and Danbury that we're really seeing that snow come down, probably the heaviest. And here's where it's the lightest. Again, northern Connecticut, especially in our northern valley locations. That's the only spot that I'm a little concerned we might get under 3 inches, maybe a couple inches there. But I think most people should get about 3 or 4 inches of snow out of this. And here's that changeover line that we're keeping a close eye on. So far, we're just locked into the snow, and that back edge is in sight too. Again, 10 o'clock, we're starting to wind things down in western Connecticut. It may take until midnight for parts of eastern Connecticut. Heading into the day tomorrow, you wake up and we have some sunshine out. There might be a stray snow shower out there. It's going to be a breezy day, but temperatures will actually be kind of nice. We're talking about highs that'll be in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees, which will be a lot more comfortable. One last look at those snowfall totals. I think we get a lot of 3s, we get a lot of 4s, but there's a chance for some 5 or 6 inch amounts there sprinkled in and some lower amounts in southeastern Connecticut. Actually, along the shoreline in southwestern Connecticut, we've had some of the highest totals so far. So tonight, that coming to an end. Tomorrow, Okay, up near 40 degrees. And we really want to stress that it's a great day to get out, go sledding, enjoy the snow. Do you want to build a snowman? Who's singing? Who's singing here, ladies? Because this is what's ahead after that. Everything's just going to turn rock solid Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We've got colder days on the way. So tomorrow, it's Sunday, it's a weekend. We've enjoyed most of the day outside, guys, which is, you know, I think this is a well-timed storm. I don't think restaurant owners would agree because this is their busiest. Yeah. You guys want to come back out to us? We're going to start talking about some comments that we're getting from you guys.
Yeah, people are saying, you know, it's one of those days where if you don't have to be out, just stay home, Netflix, eat some snacks.
I want to be doing that.
Do,
I know, me too.
You know?
Any good show recommendations? Because I think I've binge watched everything on Netflix. Let us know.
Yeah,
I want to know.
some good recommendations, please.
Have you seen You? It's a great show on Netflix.
I actually, it's funny because my husband watched it and I thought that wasn't really a show he'd be into, so maybe it is.
I mean, it is pretty decent.
Pretty popular.
So John Landino says he got 3.5 inches in West Haven so far. And Ryan, there's a lot of people saying that they are just not ready for the snow, Rachel.
It's so funny because, you know, some people have been saying, you know, winter's not over. And we're like, yeah, of course it's not over.
Only January.
It's January.
Reminder.
But yes, a week ago, we were in, less than a week ago, because it was Sunday, we were at 70 degrees.
Wow,
So,
that was amazing.
yeah, so it is kind of a shock to the system, I think. I was already starting to think, oh, what do I want to plant this year? Oh, wait, no.
Yeah,
No.
too fast. Calm
There was
down,
like
Rachel.
tulips coming up. Someone sent a photo in, remember?
Yes,
Of someone's
yes.
tulips
Oh
coming
my
up. I was
gosh.
heartbroken because they
That-
weren't going to make it.
No, that poor plant doesn't
tulips.
stand a chance. A hot chocolate night, watching you ladies. You were saying it's a good night to hang out.
Yes, it is.
And drink hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate, tea,
Fireplace.
blankets. I mean, keep the list coming, guys.
Grace and
Yeah.
Frankie as a recommendation, by the way, for a show to watch. Let's see, how many days?
So
Didlake.
Ivan says, good boxing fight on tonight.
Yes, so we will be going on late because of that. So if you're wondering why we're not starting on time exactly at 10, that's why.
But make sure you join us 10 and 11 o'clock. We'll be there.
Yeah.
Brett, will you pop up the radar too, just so people can see that as we're, yeah, that'll be awesome.
Perfect.
I should go over there and zoom it out a little bit so you guys can see the western
Here,
part
I
of the
can do it.
state. Look at that. Look at that heavy snow band coming down right now in parts of western Connecticut. I think southwest Connecticut and western Connecticut might end up kind of being the jackpot. So it'll be interesting to see how this all turns out. Are you getting your comments to update?
I think so.
Mine
Steven
are
says
not.
136 days until summertime. Someone's already counting down. I mean,
I love
who's
that.
counting? How
But
many
who's
until
counting?
spring?
We are.
Oh, I know. Well, you either hate it or you like it.
The bugs were out last Sunday.
Wow.
No.
That's how you know it's warm.
Show my tweeted. Well, you know what? We have some time for the news at 10 that we could actually share some videos with you. And again, you can kind of see there on the radar, just as you guys are writing in your comments. Please keep the thoughts coming, keep the pictures and videos and storm reports coming. But at the same time, you can actually see that heavy snow band, Danbury approaching Waterbury. But you see, it's moving.
Yeah.
Quick.
So when we talk about a 1
It's a
inch per
quick
hour,
storm.
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's the back edge. That is the back edge. So we're not too far away from it. It's actually probably a little bit farther west than that's depicting because I have the local radar on. But either way, you get the picture. And just to our south, look at Long Island. You can see that changeover starting to creep north. So it'll be interesting to see if we get there.
I would just like to point out that Corey says that they are watching DVR'd Hallmark Christmas movies. Didn't get enough snow in December, so you know you got to start with the mood snow.
Did you see on my Instagram story, my son, he said, it's going to snow, but no, Santa's not coming this time.
Oh.
Because he only comes in December.
Oh, someone misses Santa, right?
I know.
mean,
Well,
it's okay.
it's the best time of the
Santa.
year, right?
Yeah.
For the record, if you do not follow Rachel Frank on Instagram,
She has the best videos
you need
of her
to.
kids.
She posts the cutest videos of her son and daughter, and her daughter Blake loves the snow.
She does.
You were just telling us a story about her when you came in. Tell the story,
So
Rachel.
she really wanted to go outside today so badly. I could not get her clothes on fast enough. She ran out without a hat, without zippering her jacket. And I'm like, I couldn't get her to come back inside, so I grabbed socks. We put socks on her hands
As
for mittens. And then I did an Instagram story, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing.
It was great.
That's so cute.
I was like, please don't mom shame me, but my daughter just needed to be out there. And then she came back inside, and we properly dressed her.
Aww.
But she just needed to get out stat. Oh, it's snowing, so good.
Yeah, it's always exciting. First snowstorm of the year.
I know.
You know?
I think we might do our first sledding ever tomorrow, so I'm excited about that.
Please post videos.
I will.
Coming, Rachel.
Coming down pretty hard in Thompson, Connecticut. That's from Marie.
We
Thank
have
you.
David watching from Colorado, and he says we love snow.
Someone's watching Bird Box on Netflix. Have you guys seen the movie?
Yes.
Great movie.
It is
I really
good.
like it. So
I'm hearing a lot of hate about it, and I thought I enjoyed it.
I actually liked it. It kept me going. Like
Yeah.
my attention didn't go away. So
All right.
I think that
all
we're
right.
getting comments are coming to a halt, which means
does this
we've
mean
answered all your questions, and you are
anything
very
else?
fulfilled.
We're free. We're here to answer your questions. We're available.
This is a chat between us.
You know, it's up close and personal.
I'm getting crickets. They're like, okay, ladies, we're like,
Wrap it up,
we heard
guys.
enough about
We
your
don't want to hear his
daughter.
stuff anymore. All right, well, we're asking people to chime in, offer their comments, but we also want to see what it looks like in your neighborhood. So be sure to send your pictures and videos to this email address, that's share61@fox61.com. So just be sure to include your name and your hometown, and you can also post them on social media with the hashtag share61. And you can also see your videos on TV or on the Fox 61 Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. Lots of options there. And be sure to stay with Fox 61 all weekend long. You can get the free Fox 61 Weather Watch app to track the snow and to get video updates from Rachel Frank and the Weather Watch team. So, of course, we want to thank everyone for joining us here online. We'll see you on TV for the Fox 61 News at 10. That's going to start a little late, but we want to make you tune in at 10 o'clock or somewhere around there. So be sure to have a happy and safe Saturday, everyone.
Bye. Enjoy the snow.